Welcome to my series, Women in the Bible and the Fragrances That I Think They Would Wear. Imagine a woman getting upset with her husband because he's breakdancing. Now, not just any old type of breakdancing. I mean, old boy was having a praise break. This is the story of Michal. So just to give you a little backstory, there was an Israelite shepherd boy named David who had just defeated a Philistine giant named Goliath. So when he came back into town, everybody was cheering for him. Oh, you the man, you the man, you defeated Goliath and nobody else could. And they were chanting. They were like, Saul has killed 1,000, but you have killed tens of thousands. Now, Saul was a king at this time, and he was an evil king. Well, he was turning into an evil king. And so he had a daughter named Michal. Now, Saul had promised his oldest daughter, Merab, he promised David that he could marry her. I don't know what happened. I don't know how the deal fell through, but she ended up marrying another dude. So he was like, okay, I got a daughter named Michal. And Michal loved David. She was infatuated with him. So he was like, okay, you can marry her. And he was like, I don't have anything. My family doesn't have any money. I can't pay the dowry. I can't pay the bridal price. I don't have anything. So because Saul had gotten jealous of David and he was constantly side-eyeing him. I mean, he was giving him the side-eye like my great-nephew on Fumi Ford's channel. My great-nephew Sammy, if you know, you know, he was side-eyeing him just like that. I digress. Back to the story. So Saul gave David what he thought was this impossible feat, but David accomplished it anyway. And he was like, dang, there's nothing I can do. So Saul had given his daughter Michal in marriage to David. They got married. But by this time, evil had really entered into Saul's heart. So he had to end up fleeing and went to hide in the wilderness. So fast forward, David was out of the wilderness hiding, and he had the Ark of the Covenant, which represented the presence of God. He was bringing that into the city of David. He was ecstatic. He was overjoyed. So he just really broke out into a praise. So Michal, his wife, was looking from afar off, and she was like, oh, here you go. But she thought he was just going to do a little cute two-step, a little cute little dance here, nice little, just hit a little. But no, she thought he was going to do a boots on the ground type deal. He said, no, I'm going all in. So as David was dancing, Michal really began to despise him in her heart. And she was just like, oh my God, look at him. He out there making a fool out of him. And she was watching him. She was like, I know that he didn't just dance out his clothes with all these women and stuff out here. And David had gone to his wife Michal to tell her that the covenant is here. This means that God's blessings are going to be upon us. She was like, yeah, you were out there dancing like a fool. You danced out your clothes. You ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And David was like, hold up, wait a minute. Who you talking to? She was like, it ain't my fault because God chose me over your daddy. And then David told her, and if you think that was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. We about to turn up for God. So it said in the scripture after that David and Michal never had any children. Some say that she was cursed for coming against the man of God. So the fragrance that I chose for Michal to wear is Rave Now Woman by Lattafa. I chose that because when I was reading that part of the story, I was like, now girl, you should have just joined in on that praise. While he was praising out of his clothes, you could have just got some fans and just been in the back talking about where them fans at. I digress, y'all. So Rave Now Woman is said to be inspired by a fragrance, Burberry Her Elixir. And the notes are red fruit, orange, marshmallow, jasmine, lily of the valley, vanilla, musk, and moss. I skipped over a lot of the story for the sake of time, but you can read more about Michal in the Old Testament in 1 Samuel chapter 18 and 19, 2 Samuel chapter 6, and also 2 Samuel chapter 21. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And by God's grace, I'll see you again next week.